Welcome back everyone to another brief discussion on RBY OU. I know that I promised another project would be coming out first, but between that currently sitting at 4-hour long video and starting a new job, I just need something fun to do on the side. Which is good for you the viewer, because in essence I'm working on 3 videos at once. The one you're watching now, the video essay, and the third, more sinister video. More details on that last one to come, but let's get into this video, and let's at least try to keep it on the shorter side so I don't want to cry later. As if you, the audience, have anything to say about the length of the video. But I digress. In a meta where an unplanned, late-game Zapdos can devastate your life worse than my ex-wife's infidelity, it's only natural that you need a check and desperately want a counter to it. I wrote out like 5 pages of script, frankly poorly explaining what checks and counters are, with reference to this article written by Matt L, but just read it. I'm realizing at this point in production it's bloating the video, and also there's no way I can explain this concept better than this article, so skipping ahead a bit. The point of everything we just talked about was, Zapdos is strong and an amazing checker counter to a large percentage of the OU bracket. What do? Well, Starmie and Jolteon both outspeed Zapdos and can paralyze it with Thunder Wave faster than Zapdos can do that to them. But both of these Pokemon really struggle while being paralyzed, and Starmie gets wrecked by Thunderbolt, and Jolteon gets wrecked by pretty much anything that's not Zapdos. That was a joke. I learned my lesson last time, Jolty stands. But that's about it. Tauros can usually beat Zapdos in a one-on-one, but that ruins its ability to check the opponent's Tauros later on. So there's not many solid answers to Zapdos' reign, and the checks that do exist are not the most reliable answers. Why is Zapdos all the way down at number 7 on the viability list when it can't be stopped? I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Rhydon is the definition of a Zapdos counter in every way. The part ground type making them completely immune to both Thunder Wave and Thunderbolt means opportunities to switch in are completely free and plentiful. But the part rock type and solid health and defense means that between Drill Peck, Double Edge, or God help them Hyper Beam, all of Zapdos' non-special attacks will just result in chip damage. Rhydon is so good at being a counter, you could reasonably ask what the actual hell is the point of not talking about him immediately. But we're not here today to talk about the Don. Oh no. You all know the vibe. We're looking for a hidden gem. We're here to talk about his cousin. So Golem is a really interesting Pokemon, and no, we are not talking about them either. Come on, don't let me get y'all like that. Plague Von Karma's Rock Wars video is one of the best RBY videos ever made, so we're not even gonna bother talking about Golem right now either. Congrats on the rise to underused, you rock lizard you, but no. We need to go even lower. While Graveler is a fantastic Pokemon in PU, trying to use it in OU is just a really bad idea, as it truly is just a worse version of the already niche Golem, and clearly this continues along to Geodude and Rhyhorn, both of which exist in Little Cup, with Rhyhorn having a set written for ZU that's not going to be continued to be worked on. Nice, okay. But, okay, I get it. We are this far into the video, I haven't even said the Pokemon who's on the thumbnail and title's name yet. So let's just tear off the bandage. Onyx is a Pokemon that you can use and get something out of. And look.
Look here! Look, listen!
I get it. This video started off as a haha funny April Fool's joke idea, but no. Onyx is actually totally fine. Almost. That's a big statement, I know, so hang on to your seat or I brock your mind. Onyx's stats are notable. With one of the lowest base stat totals out of any Generation 1 fully evolved Pokemon, but also one of the highest stats out of any Pokemon in Gen 1, it means that our stats are very lopsided towards defense. And unfortunately, that means that the rest of them are pretty awful. Our speed is decent, meaning we outspeed the other Rock Titans Rhydon and Golem, along with a few other notable monsters, but we aren't up in Tauros and Friends level by any means. Meanwhile, our special stat isn't, and our health is complete trash, meaning any relatively strong special attack will destroy Onyx, super effective or not. But that's another problem. Ice attacks are generally a little bit more common to see in RBYOU than electric attacks, but also about half or more of the monsters that do commonly run Thunderbolt are running it for coverage alongside an ice or water type move. Not to mention Mega Drango just ruins your day completely. Meaning not only do we need to dodge all of the previously mentioned one-shot super effective special moves being thrown around, if your opponent is not rocking a Zapdos or Jolteon, you're losing out on your free switch in, as well as basically the main reason that you'd run this set. Speaking of which, Onyx needs teammates. As much as I would love to copy Bruno's team, you can't bring multiple Onyxes into your team on Showdown as some blatant bias. But that is an argument for another day. I am so tired. Now I tried out a few team comps for this video, including one or two where I was just trying to be a little goofy, yuck. But the one that stuck out the best for what we're going for is the top 5 and something weird. Mind-blowing, I know. But Onyx actually fits this team vaguely well. Starmie and Executor both struggle to take on Zapdos. Meanwhile, the big three besides maybe Snorlax all generally try to avoid dealing with Zapdos for their own reasons. Onyx fills this role in the same way a Rhydon or Golem could. So what does Onyx have that these two don't? Bind and Screech Overlayer. We do have Golem's Explosion, but not Golem's attack stat. So we have an Onyx on our team, and we have Bind as our unique trait. Let's use it for a bit. I am so goddamn sorry for making you all watch that, and especially if you're someone that I put that bind spam through. But, yeah, bind is great if you want someone to hate you, but what I'm actually interested in is the free switch you get when you have your opponent trapped in Gen 1. So what we can do is pop out on an electric type, or Gengar with only Thunderbolt as an attacking move, and instead of trying to hit it with something that we know will be switched out of, we go for bind. That way we can switch something in to whatever our opponent has brought in to sweep through Onyx. And with our top 5 backing it up, there's plenty of viable plays if you're conservative in the early game. On the topic of the early game though, an Asleep Onyx still walls Zapdos pretty well, for a while at least. And Onyx's defense stat does mean it can eat at least a few big normal type moves usually. If you switch into a Hyper Beam and eat the 20%ish damage, you can now either bind pivot a new Pokemon in, or just explode if your target's in range. On the flip side, getting your opponent to inadvertently explode on your Onix, and seeing it do only like 40% is the little serotonin boost you get while using it. Also, while Onyx's attack is genuinely awful, super effective damage at least makes it just below average. It's low damage, not no damage, but certainly enough to get something into range of an actual Pokemon's attack, especially when paired with bind. Or, if you wait until late game, Onix has a chance to bind your opponent's paralyzed and chipped down team enough to finally be able to finish them off. It's definitely possible, especially with all the paralysis spreading our team is doing. I know this video hasn't been the most glowing endorsement of Onix so far, but remember that my point here is Onix is fine. And I think that it is. I've had a lot of success in playing carefully and being clever about double switches. It's not great, or a sleeper anti-meta threat, or even good, but as the person who is the self-proclaimed #1 RBY or Yuma champ fan, and like the 38th for Eradicate, I can recognize E-rank Pokemon and their potential when I see them. Rhydon has been the undisputed king of B tier since before I started making these videos, and while Golem is holding up his end of D tier after what is in context of when this video is coming out, a seemingly newfound wave of support, I don't think Onix is, or should be, a staple of the OU metagame. But after using it for about 6 weeks just casually in ladder, it feels like an E tier Pokemon. Not in usage of course, but just in what I feel like it can accomplish versus other E-ranks. Reserved for Pokemon that are very mediocre, they are very dependent on surprising the opponent to pose any threat. These Pokemon are almost entirely outclassed with little to no niche, they are rarely worth using. That's Onix in a nutshell! You need the stars to align with a team made specifically for it. And unlike some E-ranks that check a member or two of the big three, Pokemon that should be on every team, Onix can counter a common and less common member of B rank, Pokemon that teams are often built around, with the caveat of only having limited bind pivoting ability, and most likely being at best sleep bait if your opponent hasn't built their team around those Pokemon. RBYOU Onix isn't great, but RBYOU Onix is fine, and that's all I currently have to say about that. After I take a moment to let you know that less than 1/5 of people who watch my videos are subscribed to my channel. So if this is you, and you're vaguely enjoying the ride so far and this video today, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you can be notified when the next video comes out. It really does help my mental health, and also the next project is going to be the video essay, and fun fact, it's taking over my life. So if you want to see a person mentally and emotionally break over the course of 5 hours and 5 months of work, that'll be coming out soon. But also, I mentioned a third video I'm working on, and that should be my big summer blockbuster spectacular. Lots of fun stuff coming up, I cannot wait to see you all there. It's a new era of video making for me. Let me know what you all enjoyed in this, as well as what you did not enjoy, so I can do better moving forward. Peace out, and I will catch y'all next time.